The Toyota Yaris sedan is here and we have its review. A look into Genze, which is Mahindra's electric scooter for the United States. And some fun on the track with Porsche. So you had a quick introduction to the latest from Tata Motors. This is the new hyperdrive variant of the Nexon. Welcome to a brand new episode of CNB. I'm Siddharth Vinayak Patankar. Hyperdrive is Tata speak for AMT, and you get a good look at the latest color as well on the Nexon family. This is called Etna Orange. So raining new cars, you've seen a glimpse of what's coming up on the show, so I won't waste another minute. We'll get straight to the Toyota Yaris review.
Lots happening in the compact sedan segment of late. A little over a year since Honda updated the city, Hyundai followed up with the new generation Verna. And then Toyota teased us at the Expo in February.
Frankly, were you expecting anything different to come in that segment? Well, here it is, the Toyota Yaris, and it's taken 3 years to make this car what it is. And look at it, it's very typical Toyota. Subtle, the design elements clearly state that it has the family look. Look at these nice little muscular arches up on the bonnet. Then these headlights which integrate into the front grille. Nice little design element there. And obviously there are these LED DRLs that it gets. And look at this, the lower and wider grille. Everything is subtle. There's a nice little line which runs down the shoulder, and it looks simple, elegant.
The car will be offered in 4 variants: J, G, V and VX. Projector headlamps are standard, so is keyless entry. Those LED DRLs, however, are only available on the top of the line VX trim. The cabin is well laid out. The waterfall design dashboard looks good, and that 7-inch touchscreen you see is available from the second variant up. You get USB and auxiliary ports, Bluetooth and HDMI connectivity and a CD player. The top-end variant sees an SD card slot, Wi-Fi and also MirrorLink, which sadly did not work when we tried with both Android and iOS applications. There's navigation and gesture control too, which work very well, but does take a little getting used to. And then there's more at the rear.
The first thing that you notice when you get into the rear seat of the Yaris is that, well, look at that, the floor is flat. And that means there's a lot of space that is saved here, and that's actually very wonderful, and that's one thing that actually made me smile. Beside that, the seat is in my driving position, and as you can see, there is just a little amount of space, and this has a decent amount of space here. However, where it lacks is headspace, and that's a bit scant even for a tall guy like me. The brochure of the Yaris says that it seats 5 people. As you can see, it frankly cannot. There's just space for 4 people to sit here and probably 1 kid. And if you don't want that kid, you have this, an armrest with well, 2 cup holders. And beside that, there are also charging points given. No USBs, however. The 12-volt charging points that are given here. It would have been nicer if we had got USBs. But the biggest talking point in all of this is this actually, the AC. The rear AC vent is mounted to the roof, and very, very nicely designed, very unique design, I must say, and it gets ambient lighting as well. However, this is not standard on the Yaris. It is available from the G variant, which is one above the base. You can set the ambient lighting or switch it off entirely. These are leather seats which are available only on the VX variant, and these are extremely nice to sit on. They're very, very comfortable. Even for a long journey, you won't even think about getting, you won't basically get tired. Overall, space is decent. The only thing is that it won't seat 5 people. Toyota is bringing out the Yaris only with the 1.5 litre petrol engine. This one churns out 106 brake horsepower and there's 140 Newton meters of torque on offer. There's no diesel on offer yet and we don't expect it in the near future as well. But what is the biggest USP of the car is that there's a CVT and a manual transmission on offer. Now the CVT usually is only available in the top spec variant. However, Toyota is going to make it accessible for its customers by bringing it right from the base variant.
The gears start changing post 3500 to 4000 RPM and then you can really hear the engine. But there's no translation of all that noise into any action and that is a bit annoying. Paddle shift is only available on the top-end VX variant and there's a delay in response, but it's definitely better than the drive mode. The 6-speed manual is the better one to drive as the gear changes prompt some quick action. You have power at your disposal and the Yaris boasts of a strong mid-range too, which is why the manual is way more fun to drive. But the sheer convenience that the CVT offers in city traffic will see many opt for it. The ride is a comfortable one. And though the suspension is stiffer than what we expected, you don't get thrown around in the cabin when you take it on rough roads. It's calm and collected and exactly what you expect from the Japanese really. The biggest USP of the Yaris is how packed it comes with safety features.
7 airbags and ABS plus EBD, electronic brake distribution as well as brake assist, all come standard on the car and that's big news. Overall a nice car to drive. The manual transmission variant actually gives out a fuel efficiency of 17.1 kilometers per litre, while this CVT that I've been driving gives us an efficiency of 17.8 kilometers per litre.
So while it may not be sporty, it is loaded with features and loads of safety equipment. All the features it gets will come at a price though, and we won't be surprised if the Yaris costs more than its rivals. But the Yaris does set the bar high when it comes to safety features, as also a few feature firsts. So it's a welcome addition to the compact sedan segment, and it's great Toyota has finally jumped into it.
Now with the Nexon, Tata has a huge advantage getting the AMT in before Maruti has anything to do with an automatic on the Vitara Brezza. A car where we wait for the automatic, we wait for the petrol indefinitely. So could be good because remember it's already a big hit with more than 25,000 of them sold in the first 6 months. Okay, now time to go back to the BIC, the Buddh International Circuit, for some very different kind of fun, and I don't want to ruin the surprise. Take a look. Joining me now is the man who heads up Porsche's operations here in India, Pavan Shetty. We are surrounded by some of the hottest cars in the country.
This is the place where people like you and me would really enjoy.
Too much talking, I think, right? Like maybe we should do something more than just talk.
I know what you're hinting at, but I'm not too sure if you'd love to lose.
No, I certainly don't like to lose.
Let's see. Where do we both head?
Now I'm also itching to get behind the wheel.
Yeah, so that car is purposely parked next to you because it's a great car. You should try that. I'll try the red one. I like red color. Yeah?
Let's do this.
And soon you'll know why did I choose these.
See, now we've got the two beauties ready to go.
I think red is my favorite color. That's why I also like your t-shirt.
Alright, well, I'll contrast the yellow well. Very happy to settle this, but how many horses are we talking here? Let's tell our viewers that as well.
So we are talking...
At least.
I think this would disappoint you. This is 370 horses and this is 420.
It's funny how you say 370 horses will disappoint me, but of course I get why you're saying that. I didn't catch the badge, did I? Yeah, that is the S. Okay, well.
So the trick number 1 has already worked.
I'm gonna get him. Hello?
Hey Siddharth, it's me.
Hi. Yeah, I can hear myself now through your car.
So how many times have you driven on this track, Siddharth?
A few times now. I can't quite give you a number. I've lost count.
So would it hurt to lose?
You know, that has nothing to do with how many times I've driven on the track. This is
this one. So what I did is I came in slightly before and did a bit of practice. Otherwise I would have been out by now.
Yeah, all the unfair advantages are coming to the fore now. That was close. Come on. Come on.
I think I can do this the whole day, Siddharth. I hope I touch 250, 220, 230, 240. There, I got 250.
Maybe I have some magical red not in front of me.
I don't like this curve. No, I'm not letting you go. So you finally got me, Siddharth.
I finally got you.
I don't like this side anymore.
This is it.
I got you.
How does it feel not to have? I mean, you threw me into the less powerful car, and yet I got you.
But at the end of the day, it's all about winning, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree, and that's the feeling I have right now.
Yeah.
You don't agree?
I can understand.
All right, let's go resolve this once and for all. Now that was a lot of fun, and I can tell you that he tried all the tricks, but I'm convinced that I won. Okay, now if you want a little piece of that action, well, I've got some Porsche goodies that are waiting for you, and if you want to win one of those, you have to join me right now on social media. So get on to Twitter at Patankar or onto facebook.com/CNB show. Find out how you can win.
Now, while there are quite a few American automakers that have left their mark in India and that come from this whole Detroit area, like Ford or Jeep, for example, there are now some Indian automakers that are now leaving their mark on the American mobility scene. And we're just outside Detroit. We're in a place called Ann Arbor, which is of course famous for the University of Michigan, also famous for a lot of component automakers all around the world that have their bases, American bases, here in Ann Arbor. And we're of course, as the big board there, or the big banner there would suggest, at Genze, at the Mahindra Genze plant in the United States. Below us, of course, is their small but quite quick and quite capable assembly line where they make the electric scooters. Over on the left side, behind all those containers, is the bicycle plant where they make the electric bicycles. But they do make the electric scooters here, and that's the one that we're more interested in from a mobility standpoint, because electric scooters, of course, a big segment, a big growing segment, a segment with a lot of talk all of a sudden in India.
The Genze assembly line is a simple 5-step process with 5 individual people doing their part and a few more people adding to the sub-assemblies. And it is actually quite a simple task. The swing arm gets mounted first onto the frame, and then it's off to get the wiring harness, the lights, the front suspension, the handlebars, the seat, and of course those wheels. And after it rolls off the assembly line, it gets straight onto the rolling road where it buzzes to life for the first time and undergoes a simulated riding test.
So here it is then, it's just come off the production line, a completely production ready version, soon to be shipped off to its proud new owner. It is brand new. It of course does not have certain components on it like the little guard on the front, the little screen on the front, and the mirrors. Those are still in the back, and that's how it will be delivered to sort of limit what damage could be possible during shipping of cargo. But now let's take you through the specs of this in general. Now it does have a hub motor at the back, so it's a little hub motor here, which is a 2 horsepower motor, but the big figure, the important figure, is of course torque. Now your average little hatchback from a Maruti Suzuki might make about 70-80 Newton meters. This makes 100 Newton meters of torque, which is what gives it the performance. 30 mile an hour range was what it used to give. Now it's up to 35 miles an hour. It also runs on a 48 volt electric power plant and a 2 kilowatt per hour motor, but the top speed is 30 miles an hour. Now with an average size rider on it, it does 30 miles, 0 to 30 in about 8 seconds. Somebody like me on it, it does 0 to 30 in about 10 seconds, and that's in sport mode. Now what sport mode, you ask? Well, it does get riding modes. So you get easy, you get eco, you get a custom mode where you can actually set up how you want the scooter to ride, and then of course my favorite, sport mode, because I do like the throttle all the time jammed wide open. You do get ride by wire, obviously, because it's an electric scooter. You do get LED headlamps in the front because they just save on energy. LED tail lamps, LED indicators, all of that is of course LED. And you get a 12-inch wheel at the back and a 16-inch wheel at the front, and that is when I come to my favorite design element, which is the little Z or the Z in the disc brakes. Now these are a little homage to the company itself. In my opinion, it is also the coolest styling feature. I do like these little small elements and little small attention to detail. Other features include of course the fact that you get a single seat, because that's how moped is classified in the United States. So you don't have to go through a big homologation process, and you get this big load bay at the back. Now the load bay is customizable. In fact, the Genze is available in 10 variants, and most of these have to do with the fact that you get either a little tray on the back, you get this open one, or you get a completely closed plastic box. In terms of colors, you get 4. There's a lovely green here, which is not really a part of production, but the white one of course is the most popular, because that's what all the fleet buyers prefer to, because you can put a whole bunch of decals or stickers on it. It does take that really well. Now these ones are production bikes. They've just been rolled out, so they do come with a temporary battery. Now the battery is removable. There's a little switch down here, and this folds out, and you actually can pull it out and take it along with you. You can take it home, you can take it to a coffee shop, and you can charge it up. Now completely empty to completely full, battery charges in just under 4 hours. Of course, that you will never do, because you'll never actually run it out of charge. This is an American spec bike, so it doesn't have a key, it's completely digital. There is a Peugeot variant right here, which is the European one, which does have certain subtle differences. For example, you have these little crash buttons on the side, and you do have a traditional key. So that's something that only the European version has, because by law you're mandated to have one in Europe, while in the United States you can have actually a digital locking system.
So there you go. An exclusive first look here on Car and Bike of the new Mahindra Genze production facility in Ann Arbor and the Genze electric two-wheeler itself. And if this excites you, next week I'm off to the absolutely beautiful and very hilly city of San Francisco to get onto one of these and take in the sights. So stay tuned for that.
So that's it on today's show. The Nexon Hyperdrive or AMT review is on CNB Bazaar Buzz. It's also on our YouTube channel, that's youtube.com/carandbike. So definitely tell me what you think of the car and join us next week. Please wear your helmets, please wear your seatbelts.